जय सुभद्रा जय सुभद्रा जय सुभद्रा जय जय सुभद्रा जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टवत शतत श्री शिवांग भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टवत शतत श्री शिवांग भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज शिल प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की मायापुर नवदीप धाम की श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा मैया यमुना मैया की श्रीमती भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की श्री प्रभुपाद ट्रांसलेटेड बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की कलयुग पावन श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की और ग्लोरीज टू समबडी बॉडी ग्लोरीज टू समबडी बॉडी और ग्लोरीज टू श्री गुरु एंड गौरांगा और ग्लोरीज टू श्री प्रभुपाद तिरुभाव महोत्सव की How are you feeling today? Huh? I hope whatever we spoke yesterday, myself and Atul Krishna Prabhu, you experienced it today inside the temple. he saw the beautiful three big Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. So big there. You saw the Garuda Stambha, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was standing? You saw the fingerprints? No? How many of you saw the fingerprints of Mahaprabhu on the pillar? How many of you saw the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu outside where he was standing? That stone from inside was taken out. Saw Vimla Devi temple? Actually, did you see the kitchen?
Yes.
You have darshan. Did you go to Anand Bazaar?
Yes.
Prasadam. You saw they are selling prasadam in the pots there. These are very divine things actually. You can imagine how much pious credits and millions of lives of devotion you want to experience this, to see this. In association of devotee, the value of these things multiplies into crores. You just come and see and go. It doesn't have an impact as much you have impact when you actually see the Dham with the association of Vaishnavas, bona fide parampara. Here, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to mention that you cannot see the holy place through your eyes until you see them through your ears. Until you see them through the ears. When you hear the holy name, it is so blissful that the whole yatra has been so amazing that even before entering the temple, all of you are so fortunate that you circumambulated the temple with Harinam before entering. Isn't it? You circumambulated the whole temple with Sankirtan and then you entered. The impact of it is on the heart is much more than just entering. All of you experience this? It's what we call an experiment in the science. Aim, experiment, conclusion. Huh? No? I never used to understand the aim used to be written in the science book. You have to go to the laboratory. Isn't it true? Do the experiment, make something. I used to just see the conclusion of others' book and just write it. But here you experience the aim, experiment and the conclusion. Isn't it true? This is called spiritual science. This is something which gives happiness to the soul, happiness to the heart, and which remains. For example, if you pass in 10th standard, you will be happy. How long? 1 day, 2 days, right? Anyone is still happy because you passed in 10th with good marks? Still happy? Huh? No? Then he's relishing the same way. I know I passed, You can imagine how I felt when I passed 10th. Can you? No, it's temporary. It's a mundane piece of paper which you cannot do anything of it. The whole education system doesn't help to do the real work in the material life. Now this Prabhu is working in a company, right? Which comes software.
I'm working for an accounting firm.
So whatever you studied in your school and college, does it help there?
I studied marketing and I'm doing finance.
But even all that doesn't help. You go there and see what you have to do. I mean, before preaching in NIT Surat, I used to think software is like, but later on slowly I came to know most of the software engineers are doing data entry only. Do you know this? Very rarely people get coding jobs. You know this or not? Ask the software, they will tell you. Most of them do data entry work, and operating the software, all that. Coding is very rare. All this is a big hoax in this world. And don't be surprised, but this is truth. This education system now, the Vedic education system was this. The Jagannath temple. Around the Jagannath temple, behind, far away, are 3-4 villages. The whole villages are dedicated to the people who stay, work, serve in the temple. Cleaners community, washers community, cooking community, worshipping community, managing community. Their forefathers were doing that. Their father was doing that. Their sons are learning it, and grandsons will be born to do that only. They have no anxiety of placement. They have no anxiety of marks in exam, and they have no anxiety of salary. And this is Vedic life. Along with that used to be Kshatriyas and Vaishyas and Shudras. Shudras would work like laborers and outdo the farming along with the Vaishyas. Vaishyas would take care of the cows and farming, and Kshatriyas used to protect. And their children would do the same thing. And they would not exploit each other. And they were God conscious, so they were not envious of each other. You understand? They are not envious. Now this world is that, as I told yesterday also, no? Mukesh Ambani becomes crorepati, nobody matters. But your neighbor overnight becomes a crorepati, he'll be in real pain. That's a real pain. So because of no God consciousness, this is there. And that was Vedic life. But you see what the Britishers wanted. They wanted this country to become a country of slaves. What? Mentality of slaves. You understand? Mind of a slave. But the intelligence is not here, intelligence is here. Until I work like a donkey, I cannot live peaceful. And this whole education system is designed to bring out that donkey out of us. When you experience this, you can relate to this. If I tell this somewhere else, क्या है ऐसे कैसे बात कर रहे हैं, ऐसे कैसे बात कर रहे हैं लोग, you know? But it's all, you know, you just have Prabhupada used to mention that those who work for someone else is a Shudra. So we are qualified Shudras with a degree. That's the only difference. So imagine what plan is there in the whole material world through the energies of Maya to take away the soul from Krishna, from God, and giving him a life of sin, anxiety, competition, envy, greed, ego, sense gratification. Isn't it? No? Correct or not? Now we have a life where sense gratification is the truth. That's it. Nothing else is the truth. Maya, enjoying life is truth. And maximum enjoyments, women hunting and alcohol, drinking, right? It is said alcohol is, one devotee friend told me who used to drink, he told me that it tastes like a horse urine. And one has to get used to it. It's not like Amrit, in one day you like it. You have to get a kick, you have to forget it, then you have to get used to it. So all this is the pleasures of the material world. And when you come to such holy places, take darshan, actually your eyes are open to the truth. And then it depends upon how you take it forward. Today is also a very auspicious day. All of you know what is that? Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day. We will go to the temple, ISKCON temple in Puri. We will go and celebrate there today. Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day. And I may speak there. But also where we are taking prasadam yesterday night and afternoon. You know what is that? Did you see the deity of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur there? Did you see, how many of you saw the deity of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur? It is said that is the exact place where he was born in this world. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was born at that place. And his father, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So, when it comes to parampara, our parampara is of such scholars. We cannot imagine. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur who was the father, was also magistrate of Puri. Not Puri actually, in fact the whole district in the state, half of the state here. And he was also the manager of the Jagannath temple when he was a magistrate under the British rule. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. If you see his daily schedule, you will fall off. Have you heard about his daily schedule here? He used to sleep at 8 o'clock and get up at 10 o'clock in the night. From 10 o'clock to 4, he used to write books. 4 a.m. From 4 to 4:30 he used to fresh up and chant his round till 7:15. After 7:15 to 8:15 he used to correspond with various scholars around the country who would write him letters on philosophical questions. He used to contemplate on them or himself resolve in his mind. Then he used to eat a little rice, chapati, dal, some milk and go to the court. It is said the cases which he used to take 2 months even to read them, he used to read them in 5 minutes and give his verdict in 1 minute. That is the speed of his mind in reading and working. Then for lunch he would come home, take his lunch, take a little nap, again go back. Evening he would come, spend a time little with the family, take his dinner and again get into resolving philosophical questions. Or if he's free, he would spend time with the family and then 8 o'clock sleep. In his personal life, he was actually trying to preach through his writings. But the situation of the world at that time, India being a dominated nation under the British rules, he was finding himself very, very difficult, alone, achieving this whole task. So what did he do? In his mind and heart he was continuously contemplating. I am praying to the Supreme Lord that my Lord send me a help. Send me a help who can help me to take the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Sankirtan of Lord mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to widely reach to humanity. See, this is one of the biggest quality of a devotee, that he is always concerned about others. That's why a Vaishnava is called Para Dukha Dukhi. When he sees others in pain, he feels deep pain. But there are different kinds of pain. Some people they feel that some poor people are there. So they feel that okay, if we help them, we will feel good and they will also feel happy. But Prabhupada used to mention, if you give poor people food, they will eat today, tomorrow morning it will go out, again they will beg for food. It's a real concern about him is to bring them to their real father. Prabhupada tells this story, if there is some beggar on the street and he is begging, you can give him some food, but you come to know that he belongs to a very rich family and he's forgotten that and misleaded and he lost his memory. What is better thing? Take him to his original father who is rich, or keep giving him every day some food? What is better? So all these souls are the children of Krishna. And what is the biggest charity? To take them to, give them the knowledge so that they go back to their real father. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was very concerned. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very concerned that how I can spread this message and give opportunity to one and all so that they go back to their original father. With this, he was praying to the Lord and he prayed that my Lord, send me one son who can help me to serve this mission. And then after this prayers and contemplation was born Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. He was such a powerful personality. Such a powerful personality. It is said when the Rath Yatra, because he was a Nitya Siddha and sent by the Supreme Lord himself to assist the Sankirtan mission of Lord Chaitanya, and especially Ashish Bhakti Vinod Thakur. It is said that when he was born, after his birth, there was a Rath Yatra. You see, you don't see like this wide road anywhere, no? In India. It's only because of the Rath Yatra. If you come on the Rath Yatra day here, I have been here 4 times on the Rath Yatra day. You'll see 3 big Raths standing in a line here at the entrance of the temple, and there will be a big procession of bringing the 3 deities up, Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra. And that itself is a big procession, a big philosophical meaning of why the Lord, yesterday's pastime, Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra, they are in ecstasy. For what? Huh? And hearing? Huh? Yeah. And Gundicha temple is? But it is not different than? So when Jagannath is taken from here, is worshipped like a king. Where is he worshipped like king? So from here, when you take Jagannath to Gundicha, where are you taking him? Vrindavan. So if you see the pastime, how many of you have seen the video of Jagannath Rath Yatra on Rath Yatra day? If you remember, you don't see Jagannath just coming out like that. How does he come? He comes in ecstasy, like a drunken man, remembering, he's forgetting his hosh mein nahi hai Bhagwan. It's like that. He's shaking, drowning. They are pushing him. They are pulling him, telling, "Chalo, later we are taking you to Vrindavan, Baba, chalo, chalo, chalo." They put him on the Rath. Anyway, that is the pastime of Rath Yatra, which, if you come here on Rath Yatra, you can experience it. I was here, but the people on the Rath Yatra, it's like, if you cross this road a little bit ahead, there is an ocean. In the ocean, there are waves of people, waves coming right on the shore. But here in Rath Yatra, you will see the ocean of humans on the day of Rath Yatra. At least 10 lakh people will be there on the road. 10 lakh. There will be more than 100, 200 Sankirtan processions. People, like yesterday we were doing, like there will be 100, 200,000 groups doing their Sankirtan and dancing till the Lord is coming on the Rath, one by one, one by one, one by one. First Balramji comes. He takes a little time. Subhadra Devi is very simple, like a woman, straight, goes up. Jagannath takes maximum time even to come out, even to come till the gate, and Jagannath takes a lot of time to go up also. You see, the Jagannath form is very huge, and Jagannath, when he goes up, and then everyone is in ecstasy, dancing, and then they announce. Nobody hears the announcement at all. Nobody pays attention. Only when the Rath just shakes, voice will come. It's all a wooden wheel. When the Rath will shake like this, little shake like this, they will all realize that the Rath is going to run over them. All people there in ecstasy, they will realize that the Rath is going to, and then everyone runs. Then that's an opposite wave. Opposite wave of the ocean of humans. This is my personal experience. When I was standing on the roof, I was not down because I was scared. So much crowd was there. It is said you cannot even pass a credit card between humans. Simon Pat. Who are in Mumbai, they can understand the local trains of Mumbai. And then I was on the terrace. As soon as the rush shake, people started running that side, and it was like this. Zoom, 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 zoom. People all, from here people are running, behind that people are running, everyone is running to save their life. And then as soon as Rath stops, it shakes little and stops, then again they stop. Then again there, and then after this, the whole pastime is like that. People are prepared. Rath moves, they have to run behind. Rath moves, they have to run behind. And this is ecstatic. Anyway, the pastime which I was trying to say that, when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was born, after that when Rath Yatra was there, When the Rath came to the Matha where we are taking Prasadam, Gaudiya Math, the Krishna Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, the birthplace of Lord Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, actually the Rath stopped there. That is one beauty of Jagannath Rath Yatra. These Rathas, they don't go by our pulling. It doesn't go by you are pulling, you are having the strength, Rath will go till there. Suddenly something will happen, Rath will stop. It has happened sometimes that the whole day, because after the sunset, the Rath doesn't move. It has happened sometimes that the three deities came on the chariot and the sunset happened. Whole night they were on the chariot, next day Rath Yatra started. Or sometimes it has happened that Baldev has already reached, Subhadra is on the way and Jagannath has not yet started also. Sometimes it has happened that they all three are halfway. Sometimes Jagannath is left behind. And all this is spontaneous. There is no scientific reasons behind it. You know that there is one Samadhi of Shail Beg, is a Muslim Vaishnava of Lord Jagannath. He was living in a faraway village. But he used to come and sing bhajans for Lord Jagannath, and Jagannath used to enjoy them. So one day on the Rath Yatra he got late. And every Rath Yatra he used to come and sing for Jagannath. But because he did not come, Jagannath stopped. And there is a place from where he came and his Samadhi is also there on this road only. Shail Beg Samadhi. When he came, Jagannath Rath went ahead. So when it came to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's place, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Rath stopped. And then Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he took his son with his wife on the chariot of Jagannath, placed Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur at the lotus feet of Lord Jagannath, and surprisingly a red garland of Lord Jagannath, which is on the very height, tied very well, fell on Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then after that, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was taken, and it was all indicated he is a ray of Vishnu, blessings of Lord Krishna to spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya. He was such a big scholar, even in the British era. I mean, when he was so well versed in philosophy and in academics also. It is said that when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was giving a class in English, a Bhagavatam class in English, his vocabulary and command on the English language was so high, the British Viceroy, who had actually come to visit him or meet him, happens to hear the class. And when he heard his class, he told that, I think we should hire him to teach English to our English people. The British Viceroy is telling we should hire him, we to get him to teach English to the English people. A great scholar he was. And he was also called as Simha Guru. He was a lion preacher, very, very strong. Never compromised with philosophy. Never compromised with philosophy. He used to speak very boldly, very, very boldly, openly, direct. He never cared and never feared. That's why he was also called Simha Guru. Sometimes it is said that when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to go to some interfaith competitions or sometime, so Mayavadis and people who were not bona fide philosophers, they would leave the place and go away. They just run away from there. Because there was experience that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur once got up from asan and slapped one Mayavadi. Slapped one Mayavadi. Slapped one Mayavadi. Such a powerful Guru. That is why the present philosophy which we present to us is coming through Prabhupada, whose Guru was Bhakti Siddhanta, whose Guru was father was Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. And like, if you ask me, I'll just give one short pastime of Gaur Kishore Das. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was the father of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. His Samadhi is there in Mayapur, we'll see that. He did not know to even write his name, but he was Nirjan Bhajan. He was always enchanting the holy name of the Lord. He was so advanced, his renunciation was so advanced that Bhakti Vinod Thakur, the father of Bhakti Siddhanta, he did not initiate Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur also was a very great scholar. So he told him that you go and serve Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, who is an illiterate bird. You serve him, please him, and take initiation from him. Bhakti Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj never initiates anyone. He initiated only one disciple in his own lifetime. Who was that? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Now Bhakti Siddhanta went to him and told him that if you don't give, he asked him for initiation several times, but he was not given. Then the last he told me, if you don't give me, I will jump into Ganga and leave my life, leave my body. I will commit suicide. So then Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj gave him initiation. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, one pastime is there, very famous. He was so advanced that he didn't want to associate with materialistic people. Many materialistic people go to sadhu, you know that? Why they go? If you've seen, like we go to temple, sometimes we go to anyone's house or some function. Because in India sadhus they seek one blessing, so I have practically seen when I went with my seniors also. If one family member puts their son's head, Maharaj ji आशीर्वाद दे दो, everyone will, Maharaj ji इसको भी दे दो, इसको भी दे दो. You've seen that? हाथ रख दो, हाथ. You've seen that? For what? Huh? What blessings? So that he becomes a pakka sense gratifier and successful materially. Isn't it true? Right? That's what. So that my son becomes a pakka sense gratifier and. So Bhakti Gaur Kishore Das Babaji doesn't want to associate such people. Shri Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, once very rich businessmen came to see him and they begged him. But Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, because they entered with one more devotee, so he just spoke to them for a while and they said, Babaji Maharaj, क्या सेवा कर सकते हैं आपके लिए? क्या सेवा कर सकते हैं आपके लिए? How can we serve you? How can we serve you? Please give us some opportunity to serve you. Please give us some opportunity to serve you. Please, we beg you. We want to serve you. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj said, you do one thing, while you leave your stool around so that people like you don't come here. He said, while you leave your stool around so that people like you don't come here. That was Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. And then what to speak? Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there are so many pastimes of him taking a risk of his life to preach. In Mayapur, you may go to his Samadhi if we get opportunity. There we will share some pastimes more. And actually, it was Srila Prabhupada when he was studying in Kolkata. So, Prabhupada's college was the same college where Subhash, you translated before me. Prabhupada's college was where Subhash Chandra Bose was also there. And Subhash Chandra Bose was a little senior to Srila Prabhupada. And because of Subhash Chandra Bose's presence, Prabhupada had an influence of Gandhi mission, independence mission. And Prabhupada was very influenced by that. Because Subhash Chandra Bose had such an impact, in fact in the whole Kolkata and eventually in the whole nation also. The approach. Actually speaking, it was his approach which, all of you know, right? It was his approach which created the fear in the heart of the Britishers that if we don't leave now, they are majority, if they revolt on us. Because there were few lakhs. And India has a population of a few crores at that time. So they had to pack up, kind of revolution. So he was very influenced, he was a Gandhian at that time. And in his university time, Prabhupada's friend had taken him to one sadhu who had come to Calcutta at that time. Who was that sadhu? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he met Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was already having that experience of meeting sadhus, because one beautiful thing is Prabhupada's father, Gaur Mohan De, he used to always invite sadhus to his house and he used to tell them, feed them prasadam, give them some dakshina and tell them, please bless my son Abhay so that he becomes a devotee of Srimati Radharani. And Prabhupada says, my grandfather wanted to send me to, Prabhupada was recording one music with his disciples. So Prabhupada, while doing that, he said to his disciple that, you know, my grandfather and my family had made arrangement to send me to London to become a barrister. But my father opposed it. And he wanted me to become like this. So the disciple looking like this. Because Prabhupada was recording at that time. So they wanted to. He said, no. Prabhupada said, no. All what I am doing now in ISKCON. All what I am doing, preaching. Wanted you to become the devotee of Srimati Radharani. That's a real father who's helping the soul to go back home, back to God, right? So when he met Prabhupada, went Bhakti Siddhanta, so Prabhupada heard him. And then when Srila Prabhupada saw that, he's a young gentleman, he can speak English so well, and he's already coming from a devotee family. Bhakti Siddhanta understood. So he told, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told Srila Prabhupada that you are a young English speaking gentleman of India. Why don't you take the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the English speaking world and spread the glories of holy name and teaching of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to humanity at large. So Prabhupada at that time was not convinced when Bhakti Siddhanta told this. So he asked him a question. He said, Swamiji, who is going to listen to the message of East of India today? We are a dominated nation and ruled by the Britishers and before that by the Mughals. Who is going to hear the message of India? The Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta gave an answer, replied to it. He said, this message of God or God consciousness doesn't depend upon a situation of a nation or a person. It is a need of every human being irrespective of the country or a creed or a nation or a caste he comes from. It is a need of everyone. It has no boundaries. It has nothing to do with who is dominated, who is not dominated. It is a need of everyone, right? Like you all are students. Now someone may say, "In लोगों को पढ़ने दो यार, अभी क्यों इन लोगों को खराब कर रहे हो तुम?" Isn't it true? But when you are introduced to Krishna consciousness, are you convinced that is a need at the moment, or after you pass out we should come to you? Huh? Tell me. Now, no? So that's what you are struck. That answer of Bhakti Siddhanta struck the heart of Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada, though he knew about Radha Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being in Bengal, father being a Vaishnava, that day Srila Prabhupada, that instructor of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, preached in the Western world in the English speaking language. English speaking language. It struck Prabhupada's heart, and rest of the life from there he was contemplating. He was contemplating and how to fulfill. Actually at that time only he accepted, this is the person whom I can surrender. And the whole Gandhi movement was thrown out of Prabhupada's heart, and Chaitanya's mission entered Prabhupada's heart from that moment. And Prabhupada went on contemplating. Later on he met his Guru 4-5 times, but he took initiation from Bhakti Siddhanta. Again while initiation, Bhakti Siddhanta gave him the same message, instruction. Take the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the Western world, to the English speaking language. And Prabhupada was contemplating on this. And when the right time came, Srila Prabhupada went. If I get a chance today evening or later in the day, I'll speak some pastimes of that. Of how actually Prabhupada takes it forward. But one pastime I'll say, because he said, no, India was dominated. When Prabhupada went deeper into philosophy and teachings and writings of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta and all the acharyas, he became a very well-versed scholar. And how many of you read Prabhupada books? Have read Prabhupada books? When you read Prabhupada books, you come to know what I am talking about. Prabhupada went to London for the first time after establishing ISKCON in America. And he already had followers in London. On his arrival, they were doing big kirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So even people at the airport were struck. They never saw something like this in their own lifetime. Westerners, dhoti kurta, tilak, dancing, jumping up and down, and suddenly they all fell on the floor, paying obeisances. One, because a small old man came out of the door. And they were all even the reporters were all waiting that some great personality will come like that, And Prabhupada was, 5 feet or something. And he just walked in. They were all struck. Those reporters went and asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, why have you come to our nation and making our people your devotees of Krishna? We already have our religion. We already have our culture. Why have you come here, Swamiji? So Prabhupada did not answer that question once. He answered the other questions, important questions. Again, one reporter asked, Swamiji, why have you come to our nation? We have our church and our religion. Prabhupada got irritated. And Prabhupada was such an expert preacher that he would not every time get into answering a question. So Prabhupada said, I have come to your country not to take anything. I have come to give you something which when you came to steal us, could not take it with you. The Vedic culture. I have not come to take anything from your country, but I have come to give you something, which is the Vedic culture. Yeah, this is one pastime Prabhupada, how he preached. He did not believe every time answering the question, but awakening the questioner about his foolish question. That was Prabhupada's preaching. Like one person told Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you are preaching about God so much, Krishna and all these things. We cannot see, but we can hear and it makes some sense. But imagine, you are doing this so wide and big, but in the end of your life, you know this pastime? If you come to know, told you. If you come to know there is no Krishna, there is no spiritual world, and what you speak is not true, what you will do? Prabhupada was not in anxiety to philosophically prove him. No, there is Goloka, Vrindavan is there, higher planet, lower planet, Naraka is there, there is nothing. He said, you know what it is said? What?
If God is not there, you believe God is not there and you think you are...
Before that he tells something else. Yes.
Even if it is not there, but this process is so wonderful that it's so joyful.
I will tell you exactly what Prabhupada said. Prabhupada was not at all disturbed. He was sitting like this and looked and he said, so what? So what? So what? Even if Krishna is, if end of the life what you say comes to be true, Krishna consciousness is so blissful. Isn't it true? So Krishna consciousness is so blissful. All what you have to do is get up, chant, and prasadam is ready. How many of you are worried about prasadam? Prasadam is ready. You go there, hot prasadam falls on the plate, no? Isn't it true? It is so blissful. You just chant and dance and take prasad. After taking prasad, again chant and dance. It is so blissful, he said. The conviction which he spoke with, the person was finished. When he said, so what only, he was shocked, taken aback. And when Prabhupada explained, he had nothing left to speak. He had nothing left to speak. That was Prabhupada. And that was Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, our parampara. Now, I'll speak something about Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur here in Puri. It is said in the last days of his bhajan, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur stayed here in Puri. There is one temple, another temple near Tota Gopinath temple. Next to, just little ahead of that temple, there is a Gaudiya Mutt. And in that mutt, there is a small mountain, sand mountain. It's called Chataka Parvat. And above that, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta sat and did his bhajan. His room is still there. I went to Tota Gopinath. I saw they're doing some construction right now because there was a cyclone. A couple of years ago, there was a cyclone, no? Odisha. So it destroyed. But so Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to actually stay here and do his bhajans. In fact, he did, and also I wanted to say one more thing. When he was, why he stayed there? Because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he actually, when he was here in Puri, sometimes Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to go deep into the mood of, devotees of Lord Krishna. And sometimes when he would see Chataka Parvat, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he used to run towards the Chataka Parvat and go climb up and embrace the mountain. And he used to call out, Govardhan. He used to see that Chataka Parvat and run calling out, Govardhan, 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 Govardhan. It is said he used to run in the speed of wind. His servant Govinda, Sarabham Bhattacharya, Gadadhar Pandit, Haridas Thakur, all the associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu together could not hold Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu used to just go and completely fell unconscious on Chataka Parvat. Fell unconscious. And then Sarabham Bhattacharya, Haridas Thakur would bring some water, sprinkle on his face. And Mahaprabhu would not wake up. They would again put some water and call him, shake his face. Mahaprabhu would not wake up. And then suddenly he would wake up partially. Partially he would wake up. And then he would say, where am I? Why did you bring me here? I was in Govardhan. Krishna was there with his cows. He was playing. And Srimati Radhika, along with the gopis, had come there to hear the flute. And Radhika told me to get some flowers for Krishna. And when I went to bring that, you got me here. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to go deep into internal pastimes of Lord Krishna. That's a deep mood of a devotee. In fact, I'll give you one nice story to explain this. How bhava is, how devotees come into this. Being in a body, they go deep. I explained yesterday also, no? Mad about? Mad about Maya. You tell them Krishna is a spiritual. He doesn't, you preach to your friends who are convinced about Maya is true. It doesn't go to their head. Isn't it true? It doesn't go. They are so strongly into Maya that nothing can shake them. Similarly, when devotees are so much deep into bhava, nothing can shake them. They are here, but they are internally with the Supreme Lord because of their contemplation. Or because of what? Contemplation. Like that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he went to South India. He went to Sri Rangam. He went to a devotee. Was a Ram Bhakta. So that devotee also understood Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a great devotee. He called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for lunch. When Mahaprabhu reached for the lunch at 1 o'clock, so there was nothing cooked. So Mahaprabhu asked that Brahmana, I said, what happened? You didn't cook anything? I came for lunch. He said, Lakshman has gone to the forest, he will get the fruits and roots, and once he brings, Mother Sita will cook it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was shocked. He was shocked. Then he told him again, sir, I have come. With great difficulty, Mahaprabhu convinced him that he has to cook. So then he started cooking. After cooking, he offered it to Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu ate, but he saw that this person is not eating anything, but is crying. Mahaprabhu finished his lunch and he told him, why don't you also take? So he started crying more. He said, Ravana took away Mother Sita and has taken her to Lanka. Rama is wandering here and there searching for Mother Sita. How can I think of eating in this situation? Then Mahaprabhu told him, don't worry, Rama already made the bridge and defeated Lanka. He met Sita, you please take her. Me too. So I'm just telling, there are devotees, when they are too much into devotion, when they think about the Lord, they are, and Prabhupada was like this. But when it comes to preaching, they are, you know what Prabhupada gave the answer to the reporter, no? Like that. So what I was trying to say, these are all intimate, these are very deep philosophical points, they are very deep tattva. Very, very deep tattva to understand, you know. Because we understand only one tattva. पैसा कमाना है, सेविंग होना चाहिए, खुद का घर होना चाहिए. Isn't it true? We are deities who are prepared for that from the childhood. Correct or not? No? We have a mission in our life which our family and society has created. Correct or not? No or yes? All of you are born for that mission? Huh? That's the mission. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, little ahead from there, Chataka Parvat, is the temple of Tota Gopinath, the second most important temple for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. All there are actually more than 100 temples. In 2 days time, I don't know how many temples Chaitanya Avatar Prabhu will take you all. In 2 days, there are more than 108 temples, important temples to take darshan here, around Puri, in Puri and around Puri. So that is why we can do a bigger yatra in December. Want to come?
Yes.
So, the Tota Gopinath, as I was mentioning, at Jagannath Puri, in the Sri Mandir, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would look at Jagannath, you saw how is he worshipped there, no? Garlands are there, people are waiting there, big queue is there like a king, you know? You didn't see, below Lord Chaitanya Jagannath deity, there is a deity of Madan Mohan. That deity becomes a replica of Lord Jagannath, and in a palanquin, he comes out every day, like a king comes out. Then he goes and sees the kitchen. Then he goes and sees the other managerial affairs of the temple. Like a king, he travels around and even goes out and sees the property of his. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the mood of Srimati Radharani, used to not feel so happy, because he loves the mood of which place? Vrindavan. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to take darshan here, and he used to go to Tota Gopinath temple, and that, if you go to that Gopinath temple, you will feel as a different place completely, because it is not like ocean, it's not like a city here, it's like a complete forest. Nice trees are around Tota Gopinath temple, and lot of monkeys like Vrindavan. If you go to that now also, the other day when I went there, the monkey saw this book and he felt something there is for eating. So, he came to me. I did the book like this, he ran away. So there are monkeys there also. And it's all nice trees and kunjas, many plants there like Vrindavan. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to go there, and when he used to take darshan of Gopinath, he used to feel so happy, ecstatic. He used to dance there. He used to remember Vrindavan, Lord Krishna in Vrindavan. That's beautiful it is. Very beautiful deity. In fact, the story how Tota Gopinath came to existence is also amazing. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu moved to Puri to stay there after sannyas, Gadadhar Pandit, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, he is a great devotee, very intimate associate. He didn't want to live without Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navadip. So he came here and he was staying in that house where Tota Gopinath is there. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to, every day after the lunch, used to go there, sit with Gadadhar Pandit and read Srimad Bhagavatam. Every day. Gadadhar Pandit used to read Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to hear Bhagavatam. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to like two pastimes. very much. One was Dhruva Maharaj and another was Prahlad Maharaj. So whenever Gadadhar Pandit used to read the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to read again, read again, read again, please read again. Like that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made Gadadhar Pandit read the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj 100 times and Prahlad Maharaj 100 times. One day, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not in his external consciousness and he took the darshan of Jagannath and unsatisfied, he came to hear Bhagavatam. And after hearing Bhagavatam, he said, where is my Krishna? Where is my Prananath? Where is my Vrindavan Bihari? Where is my Gopinath? Where is my Supreme Lord for whom I am living? In this way, in the mood of Srimati Radharani and devotees of Vrindavan, now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he started digging the earth here and there in the house of Gadadhar Pandit. And then while digging, something came out, which was the helmet. And then he called Gadadhar, I have found out our Prananath. Do you want him? Do you want him? And Gadadhar Pandit came running and he saw it was the upper portion of a beautiful deity. And he digged the whole earth and brought out this beautiful Gopinath deity. Actually, Tota means garden in Odia. And because it was found around in a garden, that's why it became Tota Gopinath. Tota Gopinath. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to come every day there. In fact, one day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided that he will go to South India, where he met this Brahmana. I told the story. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there are a few chapters in Chaitanya Charitamrita where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's description about his South India Yatra is mentioned. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went, no, where was I before this? He brings out the deity. So, Gadadhar Pandit, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decides to go to South India, Gadadhar Pandit also says, I will also go with you to South India. Mahaprabhu said, Arey Baba, I have given you Kshetra Sannyas so that you can live in a place where I am living. And you are supposed to worship whom? You are supposed to worship Gopinath. How can you come with me? No, you have to stay here. So when Mahaprabhu told this, there is a beautiful narration, small verse. Gadadhar Pandit replies to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, Pandit kahe yahan tumi sae nila chole Kshetra sannyas mora Yokara satana. My dear Lord, for me, Puri is where you stay. Either outside Puri or inside Puri. Where you stay, that is Puri for me. And my sannyas of living in the dham, let it go to hell. Let it go to hell. And then Mahaprabhu said, Iha karo gopinath Seva tumi. Just say Jagannath Puri and serve Tota Gopinath. Gadadhar Pandit replies, Koti seva tava pada darshana maya. One rendered services to Gopinath million times. One rendered services to Gopinath million times by seeing your lotus feet once. He's telling this to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then the conversation goes on wherein Gadadhar Pandit convinces Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that to hell with your Kshetra Sannyas, I am going ahead with you. And then he said, if you are not allowing me to come into South India, I will go to Bengal back with the devotees do Sankirtan then. Without you, I am not going to stay here. And then after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes towards South India, he lives towards Bengal. Cuttack is a place where both have to come to cross to south and west. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Gadadhar Pandit there, he preached again that you are leaving Puri at the cost of giving up the service of Gopinath. And this is giving me so much pain. And with pain to me, you are doing this. When Gadadhar Pandit heard that I am giving pain to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gadadhar Pandit fell unconscious at Cuttack. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was a great devotee living here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells him, lift him, take him back to Gopinath and put him there. And then Gadadhar Pandit stays here and continues to serve Gopinath. It is said when also very special about this deity is when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after living 20 years in Jagannath Puri, when he wanted to close his pastimes, the Lord appears and disappears, no? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to wind up his pastimes, he did a very great Sankirtan procession. And after the procession, he ran and entered into the deity of Gopinath and disappeared. Especially it is said that on the portion of his knees. Even today, if you go morning 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and if you can convince the pujari, give him some donation, he will show you the portion where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered into the deity. Even today. The beauty of this deity is after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, Gadadhar Pandit did not want to live in this world without Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There is a story of Haridas Thakur also, who left before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Gadadhar Pandit, though he was just in his late 40s, he shrank down and become very thin. Very thin. His body almost bent as if an 80 years person. And now Gadadhar Pandit, he was not able to do any services to Gopinath. Because Gopinath deity is beautiful, tall. And he was not able to even put the garland to the deity. Not able to put, dress to the deity. So, out of separation from Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gadadhar Pandit started deciding that now I should go also. And I am not able to do worship. Let me get some pujari. Let me get some pujari to do worship. And then when he was contemplating like this, Tota Gopinath came into the dream and said, don't think of this. I want only service from you. Then Gadadhar said in the dream to Gopinath, my Prananath, I am old now. I am not able to even put garland to you. I cannot do any service for me. He said, nothing. I don't want to listen anything. Even if it is difficult for you to serve me, I want your service only. If it is difficult for you to put garland to me, tomorrow I will be in a position where you can put garland to me very easily. And next day morning, when Gadadhar Pandit went to open the deity and wake them up, he saw Tota Gopinath sitting in a Padmasana, sat down, sitting position, bed, sit position. And today also that deity is still in a sitting position. Today also this deity is in a sitting position. So that is why somehow before you leave, you take darshan of Gopinath and Chataka Parvat, which is next to it. That is why it is very, very special for all of us. And then when you saw a couple of, because we have to go for Prabhupada celebration also in the ISKCON temple, Prabhupada disappearance. Chaitanya Prabhu, we don't have a screen, no? We don't have a projector, no? Okay. We could show them final lesson, today's departure. Anyways. 1-2 pastimes which I will speak about Hanumanji here in Puri. There is one temple called Bedi Hanuman. Who knows about it? Where? He told, the devotee told? They did. I have saw the details. Beautiful. He said that many times the ocean used to come inside to take the darshan and touch the lotus feet of Jagannath. And that used to disturb the whole area. So Lord Jagannath got Hanuman to sit on the shore. And with the gada, as soon as the ocean used to enter, Hanuman used to hit the gada with the vibration, ocean would go inside. But the problem was Hanuman was very used to eating good fruits in the kingdom of King Bali and nice laddus and chapatis in Ayodhya. But in Puri you get what? Only rice. And all the worshippers used to come give some moongphali or give some kurmura to Hanumanji. And Hanumanji was fed up of this bhoga. So one day he saw that ocean has become so fearful, he will not come closer. He jumped off to go to Ayodhya. And ocean saw Hanumanji is not there, came running inside and flooded the Puri. So that day the Lord Jagannath, he tied a rope and put it to a stone and told Hanuman, you cannot go anywhere. So that deity is still there, Hanumanji. And there also, once I went early morning, if you ask the pujari, show me the Bedi, so he will turn around. How many saw? Hey, you saw the Bedi? You went to temple? When? Really? Who? You saw the Bedi also? And I thought I will impress you with this story. Anyways, do you know the story of why Sudarshan is up? Okay, then I'll tell the story. Sudarshan had become very puffed up. Why? He is always the Lord's protector. As soon as Lord has an issue, he'll go and solve it and come. So one day, Lord Jagannath told, go and call Hanuman. Sudarshan went running to call Hanuman. But Sudarshan had a doubt that when I am there, why Hanuman Sevak has to come? So Sudarshan, before Hanuman could jump and reach, he reached here after giving him the message. He reached here. Hanuman first went to Simhadwar to enter. But Sudarshan came on the gate, rode around, did not allow him to enter. Then he went to other gate. There also he did not allow. So none of the gates Sudarshan was allowing Hanuman to enter. Hanuman got fed up. But they are God brothers, they are devotees of the Lord only. But then Hanuman got so fed up, but he wanted to go and take darshan of his Lord. So he immediately took Sudarshan and put him under his shoulder and just went inside. So when he went inside, and then he spoke to the Lord, and Lord gave him some seva, and the detailed conversation I forgot. But then after this incident, Sudarshan was very disturbed that I am the main servant of the Lord. How can Hanuman do this to me? The Lord had empowered Hanuman to do that, to make him humble. And then the Lord told Hanuman, Sudarshan, that you have become very puffed up. Now you become like a pillar and sit next to me, chupchap. So if you see what is there next to Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra? Sudarshan, but in the form of a pillar. Then Sudarshan became very depressed. Though I did a mistake, but this is too much of a punishment. And he was in so much depression. Then the Lord gave him benediction. Okay, in Kali Yuga, you will sit on the top of my kalasha of every temple. Anyone who takes the darshan of my chakra, my Sudarshan, will get the benediction and the blessings as similar to taking the darshan of the deities, me inside the temple. So you see one of the entrance, Hanumanji is there. You saw yesterday? And there are many pastimes. This is one of the pastimes I heard long back. I must have spoken little here and there, but this is a very sweet pastime. There's a detailed pastime to it. I didn't get time to read it. But there are like this, many thousands of stories like this in this dham. And that is how devotees stay in this dham. They will go to one place, remember that pastime, take some prasad, sleep. Next day they go to another place, remember some pastime and sleep. And that is the life of devotees. Either do bhajan like this or go out and preach. There are Goshtanandis and Bhajananandis. Goshtanandis means they will go out and preach. After they hear all these pastimes, they will say, why the people in the world should not know this and hear this? When we go and preach and bring them to the lotus feet of Krishna. Like that. Prabhupada said, we are Goshtanandis. Who are we? And we all want all of you to go and preach now. This message of Lord Chaitanya. You will preach?
Yes.
And imagine how much happiness you are feeling. You will give to the people whom you preach. Isn't it a good work? Tell me? When you share something which you have, that increases the nectar of it. So that is why the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is this. Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Wherever you go, you speak to people about Krishna. So there were many pastimes which I planned, but we'll see if I get time, we'll speak again. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maiya ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Shri Panchatattva ki Srila Prabhupada ki